Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of All the Castles. Today we're here at Skipton Castle. It's a castle in the rather quaint town of Skipton, and it's just by where they got market on at the minute. Pretty good.
Hello, as Simon said, this is Skipton Castle. It's always trumpeted as one of the best preserved, but there is a bit of a story to that, which I'll come to. The original castle, I think, was started here not about 30 years after the Norman conquest, and it soon became the seat of the Clifford family, who produced some good and bad people, including the infamous Butcher Clifford, known for his antics in the War of the Roses before he was killed at the Battle of Towton. And the castle became the last stronghold of the royalists in Yorkshire, so Cromwell ordered it to be destroyed. And then some years later, when Lady Anne Clifford, that's the same lady as owned Broome Castle, she took control of the castle after a disputed inheritance, and she decided she was going to build it all back up again. So what you see today is the restoration of the castle by Lady Anne Clifford, but it does have some original features. This is the gatehouse, standing at the top of the high street in Skipton. And if you look at the watchtower there, that is, have you got the flag side?
Yeah.
That is the Clifford Arms. So the Clifford, I don't think the Cliffords still have any ownership of the castle. I mean, Lady Anne didn't have any heirs, and it's now in the property of English heritage, I would guess. Okay. Yeah, when you get to the castle, you get these nice tour sheets, which haven't changed in at least 43 years, because I can remember coming here with my mum in 1979, and they give you a good, precise, compact little précis of what you can see in the castle. For instance, these are known as Lady Anne Steps, and I presume there was a plaque above there telling you about her restoration, but seems to be a bit worn. But I presume those are the Clifford Arms, just that you can see above the empty plaque. This little chamber was apparently the site of the old drawbridge, and you exit it through the Norman archway here. Hello, yes, this is the Norman fighting chamber, so called because it guarded the entrance to the castle, and you've got these little narrow slits where you could fire arrows, but there was minimal chance of you getting hit yourself.
Also, you have to be very, very short to actually have a decent aim.
Yeah, well, they were smaller in those days, not big giants like you, Simon.
Sure.
Okay, this room was the dungeon. There's no natural light here, and there's apparently no possibility of escape. Well, no records of anyone escaping here, but nobody really stayed longer than 13 weeks between the assize sessions at York. Right. Now, I have to apologise if the quality's dipped a bit, because the gimbal just died on us in the dungeon, so you'll have to, if the rest of the footage is slightly shakier, I apologise. I'll try and keep as steady a hand as possible. This is the kitchen. This place was badly damaged in the Civil War siege. So Lady Anne had to do quite a bit of restoration work in here. And there's a chute here for pouring kitchen waste down into the moat below. This is the banqueting hall next door to the kitchen. We think this would be the high table, or the location of the high table where the Lord and Lady Clifford sat, and in that recess there'd be minstrels to entertain them. This is the withdrawing room where the ladies would retire after the meal to sew and make music and other things. And there's a great view down to the moat from here. Now a bit of a walkway. And I guess this wasn't so peaceful during the siege. They'd have to stay clear of these windows to avoid any stray cannonballs. Hello, this is the Muniments Room, and this is where all the important documents of the castle were saved, property deeds and so on. But apparently it wasn't safe from water or mice, so wasn't actually very good for that purpose. What's interesting here excuse me, is that you can see where the walls were reduced to by Cromwell after the Civil War. So everything above this line is part of Lady Anne's restoration.
Impressive.
Very nice. Well, this is the Lord's bedchamber. As you can see, he's got a fireplace that was probably very much needed in the winter time. And again, the windows face inwards. Again, this is another of the watchtowers. You can see even more clearly here the extent of the rebuilding. But what's interesting, I've just read on the wall, is that the rebuilding process started while Cromwell was still in charge of the country. So, having demolished the castle, he then gave Anne permission to then start rebuilding it. Although there were certain conditions about making it less militarily useful, but still, it's an odd story. We're now on the top floor of the watchtower. It's notable that we're now higher than the level of the gatehouse, which you can see through the window here and on into the town. Hello, we're in the Conduit Court. This is absolutely the most central part of the castle. Those arms are those of John Butcher Clifford, so-called. The main crime alleged is that he executed the young son of the Duke of York at the Battle of Wakefield, but that is conjectural. Nobody knows if that was actually true or not. And certainly the prince in question, Edmund, was older than is generally believed. And this yew tree was planted by Lady Anne Clifford, so it's good to see that it's still alive and thriving in here. This is the ground floor of the Muniment Tower that we were on earlier, and this was actually built by the Cliffords soon after they came to Skipton. They were given the castle by Edward II, and you know, they enjoyed a long tenure here, right, much longer than Edward managed to hold on to his throne. Hello, now this is the chapel of St John the Evangelist. It's a separate building within the Inner Bailey. Unfortunately, on the outside, some of it's been repaired with brick, which certainly doesn't look great. So I think if they had a bit of spare funds, they could do with perhaps making that a bit more sympathetic. The chapel is thought to date from sometime in the 13th century, probably just before the Cliffords came here. Yeah, as you can see there, that bit's got the brickwork. Hey, I'll just say a word about the current ownership. This Tudor wing of the castle is not open to the public, and in fact I was wrong. English Heritage do not own the castle. It actually belongs to a family called Fraterini, who are a well-known branch of jewellers, and it was they who've opened the castle to the public, and all the takings go towards keeping the castle intact. The Cliffords and the Fraterinis are not related, but Lord Clifford still likes his flag to fly over the castle. The current Lord Clifford is descended from a cadet branch of the family, Lady Anne being the last of the direct line of Cliffords.